This is one of the most incredible, poignant, enigmatic passages and discourses in the Bible. The idea that Abraham would take the moral high ground as he starts talking to God and says, are you going to destroy or punish the righteous with the unrighteous? Could you imagine asking God that? Are you going to destroy the righteous with the unrighteous? And he says, God, what if there are 50? What if there are 50 people? Will you destroy them? What if there are 50 righteous people? And God says, I tell you what, if I find 50 righteous, I will not destroy the city. And Abraham says, well, you know, I'm just throwing numbers out here, but what if they're not 50, but what if there's 45? Will you destroy the city if there's 45 righteous? And God says, if there's 45 righteous, I will not destroy that. And then Abraham just keeps pushing and pushing. At one point he says, I know I am nothing but dust and ashes. I have no right to ask this, but how about if there's 40 people? Will you destroy? And God says, I will not destroy for 40. And he goes down to 30, and he goes down to 20, and he goes down to 10. But what I want you to see here is the broken heart of Abraham. And I want to ask you the question, have you ever prayed a prayer such as that for the United States of America? Have you ever prayed a prayer such as that for your country? Have you ever prayed a prayer such as that for your family? Has your heart ever been broken for your family? Has your heart ever been broken for your friends? Has your heart ever been broken for this country? Ten righteous people. I remember praying that prayer sometimes and saying, God, I know there's 10 righteous people. I know I'm not one of them, but I think I'm married to one. And I know you could find 10. I think my mother's a pretty righteous person. And certainly, God, certainly there's enough righteous people for you not to bring judgment and punishment down on us. But then something hit me. And I realized that I was making the same wrong assumption that Abraham was. You see, we look at others and judge others by ourselves, and we might be able to look at ourselves and think, well, I'm not righteous, but my wife is righteous, or I'm not righteous, but my mother is righteous, and I'm not righteous. But do you really understand there is none righteous, no, not one? None of us are righteous. That's what he said in Romans 3:10. There is none righteous, no, not one. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And so when Abraham says, how about if there are 10 righteous? Well, guess what, Abraham, there's none righteous. And we have to come to the conclusion that if God judges this country, forget about all the sin and all the corruption and everything that's going on in this country. If God judged this country just by looking at me, just me and my righteousness, we would still deserve to be punished. But let's not focus in on me. How about you? If God judged this country as your righteousness and your righteousness and your righteousness, would he spare this country? And the answer, it would still deserve to be punished. Because there is not a one of us that can stand righteous before a holy God.